Hello, I'm Sam Muscat and I'm your host, and you're listening to The Local, coming to you directly from Altona. If you'd like to be a part of The Local, you can get in contact with Scarlett and there'll be more details at the end of this episode. So stay tuned to this episode and thank you for joining us. This morning, I've got a special guest really into theatre. This is going to be an interesting conversation this morning. And I have Mia Boonen from
Dramawerkz Theatre.
Dramawerkz Theatre. Now, I could get a job in this, after this conversation. So, Mia, welcome to the show, to The Local. And your background is, I'm guessing, locally?
Yeah, I'm absolutely a local, and thanks so much for having me.
That's
my pleasure.
Lovely
to be here and chat to you. I grew up attending drama classes in Altona since age 6, once a week, and then took over the organisation and I now teach the classes and have been doing so in Altona my whole life, basically. So it's a pleasure to be here.
For how long?
So I'm 25 now. When I was 6, I started taking classes. When I was 14, I couldn't pay for my classes. So the woman who ran Dramawerkz at the time, Lisa, she gave me a part-time job teaching the junior classes to help pay for my fees, basically. And then when I was 19, she said, I'm going to give you a year. I'm going to teach you the ropes of how to actually run the business. Excellent. And then I'm passing it on to you. And so in 2020, I took over the company. Great year to take over an organisation.
I was going to say, it's back in the beginning, or was this back in the beginning of COVID, or just...
Right as we locked down, I started running a theatre company. But it was incredible learning, and I haven't looked back since. It's my dream job.
Mia, it amazes me in two facets. The first one is that starting off at such a young age, and then where you have taken the theatre, if you like, in the West too, because we tend to forget that there are a great deal of opportunities, and young people don't think of theatre as their first option, and here you are at a young age setting up a theatre company and growing it too, I understand.
Yeah, it's been a great kind of journey to realise that it was the space that I needed, and certainly all of my staff who are all also former students of the organisation. Okay. We get to foster the space that we wanted and we needed when we were young, and get to do that for other young people and create a space that is creative and gives room for self-expression, but also quite necessarily supports well-being and has positive role models and does all of the important things for young people that we need.
Well, you see, that's another great facet of theatre, isn't it, too? Because people tend to not put in the well-being part into that, So not only is it having the opportunity to act, having an opportunity to be a part of a theatre group, but it's also about your well-being, and it gives you something too in return, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It fills my cup every day.
But so you're not half full, half empty?
Ooh,
never.
No, I'm overflowing most of the time.
So you talked about young people. What sort of age are we talking about there?
Between 8 and 25-year-olds. So we have 8
Gosh, that's got to be hard work, 8-year-olds.
Yes, they are lively and hilarious. I think my favourite interaction still is when an 8-year-old walked up to me and said, "Are you engaged, or do you just wear that ugly ring?"
Do you wear the ugly ring?
And I had to express that it is the ugly ring.
Oh, no.
But they are hilarious and gorgeous, and also very kind in other times when they're not saying that to me. But we have 8 to 12-year-old classes. We have a 12 to 18-year-old class, which is our teenagers who are this great bunch who really build mentorship into how they run. The older ones really guide the younger ones. And then recently we've built our youth arts ensemble, where 18 to 25-year-olds come. We make theatre, we share a dinner every week, and it's a space to really be connected with art and treat your community like a community where you share things and collaborate and all of those things.
So these classes run every week, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, every week, and from 8 till
25.
25.
Yeah.
So what's some of the theatre that you've done?
So our classes really have lots of skill building and lots of games and lots of fun. And then also at each age group, we work towards kind of productions or shows or devised projects that really are for each age group. So most recently we had our 8 to 12-year-olds do a show called Posties, where they were magical creatures working in the Wish post office, making sure that humans' wishes came true. And it was a little jukebox musical where they all got to help a human's wish come true. It's one of those times, it's our 8 to 12-year-olds. We try and find things for them to do that are really fun and exciting, where they get to wear a bit of glitter, because once they hit teenagers, they want to start doing serious dramas. And I did the exact same thing, but I do know that as I get older, the whimsy I just want to go back to whimsy. So they're warlocks, sprites and fairies, and they all work in the agency of wish making or something like that, where there's a post office and humans' wishes all arrive as these different things, and then they are tasked with taking those wishes and sending them out into the human world to make them come true. And it's a gorgeous little show. They've had so much fun putting it on. We had a 12-year-old write a song for it.
A 12-year-old write a song? Yeah,
she said to me, I have ideas, and if I give you lyrics and ideas, can you help me make them happen? And we love when a kid comes to us with initiative like that.
And they do come with initiatives, do they? They come with
absolutely.
Ideas.
Yeah, they're brilliant in that way. They're so excited and so generous with what they want. And it's about finding people who will find a way to say yes. I think that, and it's a problem everywhere, we have this way of saying no to young people before we've investigated if we actually can say yes, if it's actually that hard. And I think what we try to practice at Dramawerkz is to say yes first, figure out if it's possible, lean into let's give it a go before we say, oh, but that sounds a bit hard. Because we do things like we make sure that they're listed in the program as, a co-writer, that they are given the thanks and the credit for their work. And it's really exciting. And it happens, like with all of our senior staff. We had a student doing their Year 12 media film for, high school. And our amazing design director, Scarlett, who works for the Altona traders. We love Scarlett.
Yeah, so do we.
We loved her first.
Well, we might have to fight about that, but that's another subject.
But Scarlett, goes and mentors this young person to help her get her media film completed, brings equipment, brings all of this wealth of knowledge to the room. And we do that because we've known this young person since they were in grade 6. They've now graduated high school.
Geez. So these shows that you put together, or theatre productions that you put together, you produce them locally. Do you show them locally to the community? Or better still, how does the community, if they want to get involved with that?
We would love to show more of our works locally.
Okay, so this is not sounding good.
We did our production of Ivy and Sylvia, which was a 2-woman show featuring myself and Scarlett Rose. We worked together to tell the story of the women who used to run the Altona Hospital and provide healthcare in Altona. And we did that at
That's
Louis
a bit of a history lesson too in itself.
Oh, it was an incredible process learning about Ivy Weber and Sylvia Kosh, who both provided healthcare locally for decades for no recognition. The centre is named after Louis Joel, who was also a brilliant man, but Ivy Weber lived there for 15 years on site at the hospital, training everyone and doing it, and her name's not to be seen. So,
nor heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
In a sad way.
We really prioritise telling those stories, and we really try to be local whenever we can. But the sheer fact of it is, when it comes to accessible theatre venues that are low enough cost for how we like to keep our programs low cost, there aren't that many locally, because the cost, it's cost prohibitive to go elsewhere. And so we wind up performing in Brunswick or in Footscray, which is more local. It's western suburbs, but it's still I would love to be able to make it something that can happen right here, right with my community.
Have you ever thought of maybe doing a production outside in the park at Altona?
Definitely. I want to do Shakespeare in the park so bad.
Well, you see, there you go. You read my mind, because that's when I said in the park, that's exactly what I thought. And I thought it would be great in summer to do a theatre with your seniors and actually probably with the whole group.
Yeah, it would be amazing. Especially we love making Shakespeare something that everyone can reach and understand. So the idea of bringing that into the world, especially Shakespeare loves nature. So it'd be great to have that mirrored around us.
So that's really interesting about Shakespeare in the park, because isn't it funny how I was thinking of that when I said, do it in the park, because it would be a great venue. But talking about venues, what sort of venues have you got? Because we were talking about having to go to Brunswick. Is that it?
Yeah, honestly, it would be lovely to be able to put on bigger stage productions locally. We're lucky to have the space at Louis Joel where we put on our intimate works. But when it comes to staging a bigger production, a musical and things like that, for us to be able to make it accessible for audiences, but also accessible for our young people, we end up going to Brunswick because everywhere else is cost prohibitive or not possible really. And we've got kind of a real lack of those subsidised, accessible venues locally.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking when you think of that too, because here we are trying to attract young people, right? Trying to keep young people off the street in a sense. And yet we need a venue, and we really don't have a venue. When you think of all the different art groups that we have in the West, which I was really surprised with the amount. As I said, I was talking to the Honourable Steve McGee, literally about theatre and art and music, and to have a social venue where it could house for a lot of people centrally in the West would be ideal, and I've actually put a proposal in regards to having a forum where we invite all of the different art groups to come and think about where we could have a facility. It might be a multiple use facility, but it doesn't matter as long as there's a facility that can house theatre.
Absolutely. And make it a way that people feel at home there, that they can take ownership of it as a local space.
That's the key word, isn't it? Ownership. Yes. Ownership, yeah. And you're right, because it would be a space for them and it would be accessible. It would give opportunity to do maybe even more shows.
Yeah.
So how many shows would you do during the year? Or theatre productions?
Theatre productions, we tend to, so this year is probably a good example. We've had 2 teen productions, 2 senior productions with the Works, which is our production house, and then 1 junior production. And then our juniors throughout the rest of the year, they do small projects. So we do shadow puppets and short films and things like that. And then the other kind of big production, which isn't really a show, but we do a spin-off of Taskmaster every year, where our kids play Taskmaster and we film it and edit it into a Taskmaster episode for them.
So how do people get to see that?
Well, they sign up to play Taskmaster, and then their families can come through at the end and sit, and we, as an audience, all watch them take on these challenges and earn points. And it's a very hilarious and fun night for them to, be in an episode of a TV show. We make it really fun for them.
That's got to be fun. I've got to see that. That's got to be fun. And so do you invite other groups to come and watch these shows or watch these programs or these theatre productions?
Yeah, we do whenever possible. We love connecting in with groups that are like-minded, even when they're not arts groups specifically. So we've been hanging out with Assistability recently, where we went and ran a workshop in their autistic young girls group, which was fantastic, and they do amazing work there. And, in doing so, we said, come along to our show, come along and see our teenagers perform, because we love building community. We've also toured previously to Stratford in Gippsland for their Shakespeare Festival and built a relationship with the youth theatre there. Their Groundwork Youth Theatre is awesome and very similar in values to how we operate in being accessible and inclusive. So we end up having this great relationship with kids in Gippsland that some of our students almost grew up alongside, where you have that summer camp relationship where you see each other once a year and you're friends for 3 days and then you go and do your own thing. So we really try and build relationships wherever possible to kind of ground our young people in that sense of community, build that for them.
But you're also giving them an opportunity then to engage with community by those actions. Because when you were speaking then, I was thinking to myself about going and doing, especially with the younger group, where people can write in and they do that play for helping us humans.
Yeah.
Going around to the local nursing homes, because nursing homes, I chair one of the nursing homes in the West, and I find that those people that are in nursing homes yearn to have community engagement, yearn to be engaged with younger people.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would be great to do a road show too.
Yeah, absolutely. And
even if it was a smaller group.
Yeah, well, and we've seen that effect with those TV shows like Old Folks Home for 4-year-olds or something like that, where you end up with those intergenerational connections. And I think it's something that I really love about the community centre, Louis Joel Arts and Community, because we teach our young people, we say there are other people here. You are going to not just be polite to them in passing, but they are also part of your community. If they're setting up in the next room, one of the things I am proudest of is not whether they all sing beautifully, which they do, or act wonderfully, which they do, but also that if someone is running a workshop in the next room and comes in asking to grab a table, they don't have to ask before 2 of my teenagers are up and grabbing a table and carrying it for them, because they know to be polite and community driven and motivated to help one another. And I think building those relationships intergenerationally does wonders.
Yeah, so you had a powerful message before, and this powerful message has come through again. You realise that, because you're actually teaching them too to be respectful.
Exactly.
And to understand that we're on this planet all together. We're locals, we're community, and it gives ownership to that fact of being community. So that's just beautiful, that there's this expectation if someone in another room comes and asks for a table, as you explained, and that those young people are just prepared to go and do it without even having to be asked, in a sense.
I think that part of what makes Dramawerkz a special thing, and I don't feel bad saying that, because I love it and I love the team that make it happen. But part of what is great is that we give young people the respect of becoming young people who are citizens of their community, and role model to them that we respect and value them, and that they're going to respect and value everyone else in their community. And it builds those skills that you need to build of how do you be in community. They say that the cost of community is inconvenience, and that sometimes you've got to do things that are a bit hard in order to help one another. And I think that that's what we get to do. And I'm really thankful for that.
And we should be really thankful to you too, and to your team, because if you're instilling that in these younger people, they may, by their own actions, instill it into their friends too.
Absolutely.
So, there's a great opportunity here to build up on that community. So having said that, how do people get in contact with you who want to participate, who want to learn more about what you do, or just want to know when your shows are on?
Yeah, so we're available everywhere on social media with @Dramawerkz. Dramawerkz is spelled drama, WERKZ, because we were founded in the early 2000s. And then also we're at www.dramawerkz.com. You can send us an email, give us a call, send us a DM, anything like that, and we'll get back to you. And we'd love to have you as part of our community.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you very much again, Mia. This has been very, very fulfilling, and it's great to see the work that you're doing. And I think, it's important too to outline that your work doesn't stop, because it reflects through the people that you have, the young people, that younger generation, who then take on your message out to the community.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear.
Thank you for tuning into The Local, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to make contact with us and be a guest on The Local, you can get in contact with Scarlett Rose, and all the information is right here on the screen. So thank you once again, and we look forward to you being a part of The Local on our next episode. Bye now.